Well, it's Black Friday, which means that next up will be Cyber Monday. And if you're going to talk about cyber, I don't see how you can talk about cyber now without talking about AI. And the end of the girl boss era, the end of the disrespectful so-called strong and independent chick is upon us. I'm going to show you a number of articles here, culminating in the evidence that I'm bringing you. This is an article, AI, from CBS News. AI can already do the work of 12% of America's workforce, MIT researchers find. Damn! AI can already do the work of 12% of America's workforce, but you got to dig into it. Now, MIT, as you know, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, these are not people who guess their way through things. Most of the ideas that you're using today, a lot of them were influenced by MIT, students of MIT. You already know their pedigree. What I want to do is go down into the article here, because when you ask about exactly what it is they're referring to, it says here that they're going into among the ways employers across different industries are using AI. Financial services, but you can't stop there. Financial services use AI for document processing and analytical support. Healthcare providers are adapting AI to handle administrative tasks, allowing clinical staff to focus on patient care. That's just a sales sentence right there. That doesn't actually mean anything. Manufacturers use the tech for quality control, including automating inspections. Logistics operators are implementing AI to handle fulfillment. Fulfillment? Oh, logistics operators. Oh, you're talking about Amazon. Oh, you're talking about Amazon here without saying Amazon. The study analyzed workers' distinct skills and compared them to the abilities of more than 13,000 AI tools. In some cases, AI can augment human efforts, while in other types of work, the technology is far more transformative, according to researchers. For example, AI can streamline filling out paperwork, freeing nurses up to spend more time with patients. Don't be fooled by that line. It can also quickly and accurately produce software code, forcing software engineers with limited skills to shift their focus. In other words, simple entry-level people. In addition, financial analysts will not disappear, but AI systems may demonstrate capability across significant portions of document processing. When I was a kid, they started phasing out so-called data processing. This will basically be the end of it. This reshapes how roles are structured and which skills remain in demand without necessarily reducing headcount. Are you kidding me? AI is already doing some of the entry-level jobs that have historically been reserved for recent college graduates. So people who are going around flagging their degrees, which are already got them mountains in debt and have them at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder. Don't worry about any of that whatsoever. Don't worry about that. Don't let that get in your way. Don't let that get in your way at all. I promise you, I'm fairly certain that won't change anything. Fairly certain. AI systems now generate more than 1 billion lines of code, prompting companies to restructure hiring pipelines and reduce demand for entry-level programmers. These observable changes in technology occupations signal a broader reorganization of work that extends beyond software development. Well, you're saying to yourselves, some people out there may want to comfort themselves and say, well, that's just an article. I mean, how bad could it possibly be? I mean, folks say things all the time. It's can't possibly be that bad, right? I mean, it can't possibly be that much. Not that much. Okay? Then you come and take a look at this, and there's a reason I want to show you this. This is from Essence. They posted this in October, although the numbers are older than October, but there's a reason I'm going here. More than 300,000 black women have lost their jobs this year. Damn! More than 300,000 black women have lost their jobs this year. 300,000. The NAACP says it's no accident. Want to go down here and read some of this? Over 300,000 black women have been pushed out of the workforce in recent months, because this actually goes back a few months as far as the data. And the numbers keep getting worse, not to mention it's a figure that's raising alarms among advocates and economists alike. In April alone, more than 106,000 black women lost their jobs. The unemployment rate for black women jumped. I'm going to come back to this in a few moments. There's a reason why I'm not reading it now. I'm going to come back to this in a few moments. So they talk to the NAACP. Okay. What's at stake? For decades, public sector jobs gave black women something the private sector often didn't. Stability, which means you didn't get fired, benefits, pensions, a real shot at building wealth. These positions also meant representation in institutions that shape education policy, housing, and civil rights enforcement. When we lose those jobs, the impact reaches far beyond individual households. A lot of the folks out there who've been relying on jobs, we watched this for the longest time. A lot of folks out there have been relying on jobs that simply gave them a job as an entitlement, didn't actually require them to do certain things. And as a result, it fed this bloated ego and vanity. They became very, very narcissistic and very, very conceited about it. But that's what they took out of the civil rights era. Now, what they're trying to go and tell you is that it is because of cutting back on DEI, the election of Donald Trump, the government shutdown. They're going to try to point the finger in those directions, although that's a lot of other folks are saying that that is actually not it. That the answer is actually far closer to what you see on your screens. There is one person in particular I'd like to show you here, Margaret Spence from LinkedIn. I want to show you what she had to say here. No matter what you might see in articles and things like that, there's other folk here who got a different perspective on exactly what's occurred there. I want you to hear this for yourselves.
While America celebrated job growth, Black women lost more jobs in the last 90 days than any other subgroup. Black women lost 304,000 jobs in 3 months. This is not a coincidence. It is the AI disruption around hiring and retention and around being displaced by AI that no one really wants to talk about. We are really seeped in talking about the federal workforce cuts, DEI programs being dismantled, but AI automation creates the perfect storm that affects and is affecting Black women right now. Black women's unemployment jumped from 5.1% to 6.3%, while the nation's average stayed flat at 4.2%. I was speaking at the ATD conference in May, and I asked the question, who gets reskilled and who gets left behind? And that is the question that we have to answer. The data is alarming. 53% of jobs occupied by people of color will be replaced within 5 years by AI. That's right, 53%. But nobody's really talking about it. It's not just the current job loss. 84% of Black women are breadwinners, meaning we contribute at one of three levels within our household. Meaning we contribute 100% because we are single moms or divorced moms or single.
Okay, 84% of Black women are breadwinners. When you use silly talk like this, stupid talk like this, as if Black women are somehow killing the game, leading in wealth, affluent, you would never know that, 84%, and at the bottom of the barrel, that means it is a drag on the people. It is a cinder block around the neck of the people. So this is nothing to brag about. This is something to be ashamed of. Obviously, it doesn't work. 84% of the breadwinners and the majority of the poverty, very clearly, it's stupid and it doesn't work. So to sit up here and say, how can we keep this ship afloat? The ship is already sunk. But you get stupid talk around stupid numbers.
Or we contribute less than 50% or less than 50%. When we lose work, entire families and communities suffer. By 2030,
When we lose work, entire communities suffer. How are the communities suffering with that 84% of, quote, breadwinners now? How's the community doing with that? The community's doing great with that now, right? Once again, silly talk.
When we lose work, entire families and communities suffer. By 2030, 4.5 million jobs occupied by Black professionals will face automation. So let me say that again. By 2030, 4.5 million jobs occupied by Black professionals will face automation. So the question is, do we wait for that to happen? Because no one is coming to save us.
So you got to understand, when she was trying to be honest at the beginning, she's talking about women. She's not talking about Black men. She's talking about Black women. So when it's kind of like with the dominant society or some of the immigrant class, when folks want to bail out, they start talking in terms of we. But when it's time to distribute the benefits and the resources, they want to knock you out the way and say, okay, that's for me. But they want to galvanize you to get active for their benefit, and then it's going to be for them, as opposed to, well, this doesn't really affect you at all, actually. So just see how she keeps switching back and forth, how the language keeps switching back and forth. It was about Black women, but she wants Black men to jump in there, even though AI is going to primarily target these jobs Black women were in. Now, I want to go back and play this first part again.
While America celebrated job growth, Black women lost more jobs in the last 90 days than any other subgroup. Black women lost 304,000 jobs in 3 months. This is not a coincidence. It is the AI disruption around hiring and retention and around being displaced by AI that no one really wants to talk about.
Interesting, because when she shows this article here, she's talking about black women, but of course, okay, is this a black woman's issue or black people? So just understand, failed feminists. There's a bunch of them out there still trying to make money off of stuff, but I'm just showing you the reality. She's talking about black women, but okay, is this a black woman issue or black people issue? It's a black people issue. How dare you try to signal this out as a black woman issue? And if it's not a black man's issue, then why are you showing us and trying to include us in it when it benefits you?
Disruption around hiring and retention, and around being displaced by AI that no one really wants to talk about. We are really seeped in talking about the federal workforce cuts, DEI programs being dismantled, but AI automation creates the perfect storm that affects and is affecting Black women right now. Black women's unemployment jumped from 5.1% to 6.3%. Women's unemployment jumped from 5.1%.
Okay. Black women's unemployment jumped from 5.1% to 6.3%. This video here was posted a few months ago. Okay. 5.1 to 6.3. There's a reason why I'm going over that. Remember, I told you before we come back to these numbers. Now, this is from Ebony, just in October. From Essence, just in October. In April alone, more than 106,000 black women lost their jobs. The unemployment rate for black women jumped from 5.1 to 6.1% in a single month, while the national rate stayed near 4.2%. But now it's climbed to 7.5%. Damn! And the gap between black women and everyone else, and the gap between black women and everyone else, is widening faster than it has since the pandemic in 2020. You see, if you want to be a boss hog babe and be a dumbass and sit up there, narcissism basically is where you stare into the mirror until you starve to death. So just understand, evolution is going to take its course. If you want to be narcissistic and conceited and silly, thus goes the road to extinction. Is the way that goes. You want to be over there by yourself, just understand you're already drowning. But then again, evolution's taking its course. You see, you can get on social media and talk stupid. I mean, that's what folks do. They get on social media, they talk dumb as hell. They talk stupid as hell on social media. Yeah, ain't nobody doing the math on it. Nobody's holding them accountable. That's the issue. That's the issue. Folks don't understand what's happening. You see, what occurs here is that for the longest time, these people have sat up here and told folks that they had things going and had things in hand. Well, if they got things in hand, then you wouldn't be seeing stuff like that. And you wouldn't be seeing some of these other things here as well. See, there's another article that I wanted to show you all from Essence. There's another article from Essence. AI-proof careers every black woman should know about. AI-proof careers. Oh, this sounds good. AI-proof careers every black woman should know about. Automation is changing the workforce, but these careers prove there's still power and paychecks in human skills. All right. They go on talking about a bunch of things here. I just want to get to the part about what's safe. So if these types of jobs seem like the ones you want to embrace, here are a few ideas to future-proof your career. Registered nurses and healthcare specialists. The healthcare sector remains one of the most AI-resistant industries. What did we just read? I mean, what did we just read? Okay, that doesn't sound quite right. Nursing in particular is still that girl. The field is steady. Salaries hover around $75K and demand isn't slowing down anytime soon with projected growth of 6%. Okay. Mental health counselors and licensed clinical social workers are seeing explosive demand. We've already got AI being people's online friends. We already got AI being people's online friends. These roles typically require a master's degree, but offer starting salaries in the $50,000 to $70,000 range with significant growth potential. People, do you know what six figures is not getting you today? Six figures is working class, but okay. Physical therapists, median salary $95,000. Occupational therapists $85,000. And speech language pathologists $80,000 also fall into this category. These roles require hands-on assessment, personalized treatment planning, and the ability to motivate and connect with patients on an emotional level. Don't worry, they're going to have AI trying to do that too. They already have it going around trying to be people's friends. Oh, wait a minute. What's this next thing here? Electricians, plumbers, and green energy technicians. Damn! You mean skilled trades? Is this Essence telling black women, you know, we could really use more black female electricians, plumbers, people who can build electric windmill turbines, you know, construction, you know, all these jobs that women have attempted to avoid for the last, 200-300 years. Well, here they come saying, by the way, I know we saw flying cars and other sorts of technology in the Jetsons that we thought we'd see by now, but we're still not there. As a result, skilled trades still remain in high demand despite AI advancement. Ladies, ready to put on your hard hats? Ready to put on your hard hats and your Timberlands? Is waiting for you. As a result, skilled trades still remain in high demand despite AI advancement. These jobs still need real people who can roll up their sleeves and fix things you can't YouTube your way out of. You know, when you go on YouTube and you see all the females doing videos, men can just do videos and talk to a microphone. Women got to do videos and they're all doing their makeup. I mean, everywhere. They can't just do a video. They're doing a video while doing their makeup, while doing their hair. Boy. Okay. Ladies, time to roll up them sleeves. This is literally what Essence is saying to the ladies. It's time to roll up them sleeves. Electricians earn a median salary of $60,000 and can make significantly more with specializations. Plumbers average $56,330, but experienced professionals in major markets often earn six figures. HVAC technicians start around $50,590. I can't wait to see all these women fixing on all these commercial AC units in the middle of July in Dallas, in Arizona. I can't wait for them to go ahead and do that, man. I can't wait for all these ladies to work on these HVAC units in June in Phoenix, in Dallas, in Atlanta, in Miami. Hey, we'll even let y'all wear your thongs. What? In Miami, we'll even let you do that as long as you get that damn thing fixed. Long as you get that damn thing fixed. Just remember that. And solar panel installers are seeing 26% job growth with median pay of $47,670. Black women showing up in these spaces also flips the script because who says we can't wire a building or install solar panels?
And deal with it, nigga.
Oh, ladies, this isn't me saying it. This is Essence. Letting the 300,000 black women who lost their jobs know that, hey, y'all leaving money on the table. Why, there are plenty of fields that you don't have to worry about AI. You know, those jobs that you've been thinking that you've been thumbing your nose at men over and denigrating men about. You know, the things that you said weren't useful. The guy that you call so you can say, I don't need no man, I can call a plumber. And you might want to pick up that pipe wrench over there right quick. You might want to grab that pipe wrench right quick, baby, because you're going to need it more than the plumber does here in just a minute. In just a minute. Matter of fact, for that, the wind turbines, the solar panels. Yes, sir, it's going to be a whole bunch of women out there working in May, June, July, August, high noon, middle of the day. Oh, you ain't got to worry about makeup when you get out there, ladies. Oh, you're not going to have to worry about makeup when you're working on that HVAC unit. You ain't going to have to worry about that. So, stop it. Wind turbine technicians.
Damn!
Oh, y'all driven around. Have you seen the size of a wind turbine? Have you seen how high in the air those things are? Oh, have y'all seen that? Have you seen how high in the air a wind turbine is? Have you seen how tall? These things are like skyscrapers. They are gargantuan. And there's about to be plenty of black women about to go up on them. We wonder where our next crop of technicians would come from. Well, ladies, we found you. Energy efficiency specialists. See, all the women are sitting around saying, damn, isn't there a desk job? Isn't there a desk job in HVAC? Isn't there a carpeted, air-conditioned desk job in HVAC? This sounds like building stuff. Yeah, it is building stuff. Ain't you men supposed to do that so that we can get inside in the air-conditioned comfort and then wag our fingers and denigrate you and insult you and impugn you? Many of these roles offer paid apprenticeships, meaning you can earn while you learn without taking on student debt. Information security analysts and cybersecurity specialists. UX designers, brand strategists, and creative directors. We'll see how that one goes. AI can crank out captions, but it will never understand culture the way we do, period. Have you seen some of these female brand strategists and product strategists? Have you seen some of the stuff they put out? UX designers can earn median salaries of $77,000 and are projected to grow 13% through 2032. Brand strategists and creative directors in major markets often start around $65,000 to $80,000, with senior roles reaching $150,000. Corporate trainers, don't we already have that? Instructional designers and adult education specialists, folks, isn't that what they're targeting for DEI? Aren't these the specific areas they're already targeting for DEI? You know, so they can block black women and keep them out. As the job market evolves, there's growing demand for professionals who can bridge the gap between traditional education and emerging skill needs. Corporate trainers earn median salaries of $61,000, while instructional designers average $66,000. Folks, when's the last time you met a corporate trainer or an instructional designer? When's the last time you met one of those? People, when's the last time you met an adult education specialist or an instructional designer? When's the last time you met one of them? Asking for a friend. So this is what they're suggesting here. You know, the careers that men have been in, or hopefully you can squeeze your way into what used to be one of those DEI positions in corporate America where they park black females. You know, like HR, the pencil pushing stuff, although HR is going to be completely done away with by AI. HR is one of the areas that specifically AI is targeting. That one is prime for AI to take that one over. So, ladies, I do agree with the electricians, plumbers, and technicians thing. I do agree with that. Oh, those aren't going anywhere. The problem is I don't think the women are going to go into those too. What I'm saying is that the nice cush job where basically you were an entry-level employee or just above entry-level employee, just enough so you could wag your finger at Pookie and Ray Ray and Mike and Lil Slug and the rest of them. Yeah, that's what's going away. That's what's going away. That's what's being targeted. You're already seeing the jobs drop. And what you see on social media, those are just the hoes who still got a job. He got his house. I sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
Those are just the hoes who still got a job. Those are the ones that they haven't been X'd out yet. They haven't been downsized yet. They haven't been laid off yet. That's who you see on social media. The goofy ones with mental and emotional issues, those are the ones you see on social media. They're the ones still talking. Everybody else with some sense is not. But they're the ones still talking. Social media has become a place where the mentally and emotionally disturbed go to post things to get a reaction, because it doesn't matter what's happening in the real world. The real world is irrelevant because they're there to just get likes or clicks or engagement or insults or whatever. Just show them some attention. That's what they're there for. There was one in particular here. One in particular that came up on my timeline from somebody named Kendall the Mom. I think the name says it all. Be careful, ladies. They have now dropped the bar from coffee dates to water dates. It's wild out here. Men really went from let me take you out to let's walk around and sip water like women are starving for male attention. Well, when they were following Chris Brown around, they didn't have a problem with that. Meanwhile, women are taking themselves to brunch, booking solo trips, having soft nights with friends who actually listen, and building lives that feel peaceful and full. Folks, if a woman is bragging about spending time by herself, in mental asylums, they do that too. If she's sitting at the table by herself, she can talk to herself. By the way, you can see she's got chest tattoos, forearm tattoos. Yeah. A whole plate full of food over here. Obviously, either she's in front of a mirror or she went with somebody else, but yeah, they're not eating light over there, that's for damn certain. So, yeah, they skipped the salad altogether. Forget that 1,500 calories a day for females. Her buddy just blew straight past that one. They just blew straight past that one. Don't know why she's standing in front of somebody else's G-Wagon. Don't do that, ma'am. That's not great. Friendships with women are giving more laughter, more emotional safety, more depth, more joy than half of these link-up invitations. Ma'am, if a fella is offering you water, he's telling you that you have been demoted. That he feels like he thinks that you are worth a glass of water. He is just being brutally honest with you about your fair market value. He is telling you, ma'am, I have appraised your market value. I think I can swing this glass of water. I think I can swing a Dasani. I have looked at you, a single mom with tattoos all over, and she spends more time at brunch than she does at 24-hour fitness. And the gentleman have concluded, I think I can swing a bottle of Aquafina. I think I can do that. I think I can do that. A water date is not thoughtful. Ma'am, he looked at you, he gave it some thought. It's not romantic. He looked at you, he didn't feel romantic. It's not intentional. The hell it isn't. It's very intentional. You are in denial. It's, I want access without effort. Ma'am, what effort you putting in? They want get the most for doing the least. We're not accepting crumbs when we are the meal.
Oh, please.
No, baby, this is you ate the meal. That's the issue. The issue is you ate the meal. That's the part that happened. You ate it. If you can't lead with intention, step aside. Women are loving each other better than y'all are even attempting. This is the mental and emotional psychoses that post on social media for attention, rage bait, clickbait engagement. Her and her kids. And what is it with single moms and wearing leopard print? What? Like this is a national... What is it with single moms and leopard print? Like this is a National Geographic safari or something. They did not get the memo. They did not get the memo. Zero muscle tone She has zero muscle tone, but she's telling you about what she should be getting. And by the way, she's wearing leopard print. Ladies, just a heads up, as men, we don't really dig leopard print. I mean, on your underwear, I guess, and even that's kind of gone out, to be totally honest. Leopard print, snake print, zebra stripes. Yeah, ladies, animal patterns. I mean, that might do great things for you, but to be totally honest, as a man today, we don't really want to go out somewhere with a chick who's wearing animal prints. That's not, a decade ago, that was still acceptable. Today, no. I mean, we're not knocking your style. We're just saying, I understand that might be your thing, but it gets diminishing returns from us. So, yeah. It might be your thing, but it is out of style. So, yeah, the animal prints thing, yeah, we're over it. We really are. Not even really for lingerie, to be totally honest. So, yeah, fellas, she's telling you that she thinks she's worth more than a glass of water and that you need to apply maximum effort, is what she's telling you. She's telling you that you need to apply maximum effort. And that without that, yeah, it ain't working. So that occurred. You want to know why there's 300,000 and count, 300,000 and rising. Unemployment rate over 7% and rising. The AI apocalypse is going to have females. I mean, if you think that the women today are too masculine, just wait until 5% of them got to break down and they start going into electricians courses and plumbers and technicians. I mean, you think it's a masculine marketplace right now? Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. And can you imagine the build on them? Oh, man. Can you imagine what they'll be built like? If you see some of the women who work for the electrical company now, wait till you see the build on them. When this starts happening. Yeah, fit, feminine, and friendly is out the window. And it's already slim pickings now. Can you imagine what it's going to be when they have to become carpenters and electricians? But it's never going to get that far along now, is it? Nope. In reality, it is never going to get that far along. The reason it's not going to get that far along is because, no. See, the women play this bull jive on social media and they talk a big talk and then never back it up. People, the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to be more chicks jumping over their own OnlyFans.
And deal with it, nigga.
That's all it's going to be. The only thing that's going to happen is there's going to be more chicks signing up on OnlyFans. You've already seen a spike after the government shut down. That's all that's going to happen. They are not going to look to go where men are. They got access to everything we got right now. They do not want it. They are going to move heaven and earth. They're going to do everything humanly possible to avoid that. The only thing that they are going to do is see if they can get an OnlyFans or a Finsta or a Snapchat or something like that popping. That's all that they're going to do. Hey, Brittany. They're all going to start lining up to see if they can get a baby from an athlete like it's the welfare office handing out government cheese. That's all that's going to happen. That's it. None of them are going to sign up for courses. They're not going to be sitting next to us in skilled trades. That's not going to happen. There'll be one or two. Most of them will drop out. And there might be one who makes it to the end. She'll start a YouTube channel. But as far as the general population, no. Nope. The women are going to be like, look here, let me see if I can do something else. There's got to be a fella out here who is desperate enough. Let me just go do something else. So that's what you can look forward to. You can look forward to that. And they know it. Soon as you start handing out, the papers telling them, okay, we need everybody to sign up for the skilled trades class this Monday. We're closing down the Verizon plant. We're closing down this other place over here. And the crazy thing is to even talk about this stuff, man. To even talk about it. Medicine, what are you talking about? Women are they're already laying off as many nurses as they can now. They're already laying off as many nurses as they can. They're already laying off as many people as they can. They're already doing that now. That's not something they're doing later. They're already doing that now. They're already doing that now. When they're sitting up here and the nurses are burned out and the doctors are no better, they're already laying off nurses everywhere they can. Nobody's really trying to figure out how to boost those numbers. Yeah, they need them, but most of your hospitals now are run by corporations for a profit. So the nursing thing is, don't get me wrong, it's still viable, but seating is limited. And really, you don't really make any money at it till you get to at least the RN level. So if you're not going for that level, you're really just kind of scraping at the bottom. And they're trying to figure out how to get rid of as many of those as they can. So these corporations are not trying to figure out how to increase headcount. They're trying to figure out how to decrease it. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it hurts the patients. Now, skilled trades is a different matter. Skilled trades is a whole different matter. That's not nearly as susceptible. The problem is we're not going to get the women out there to help us with that. They all agree that's man's work. So all the trash talking folk with that garbage online, they're looking for a dude to lay up with. And if they can't find one to lay up with who pays the bills, they're looking for a fella that they can get it off of, to trick it off of by OnlyFans or whatever. And this is where we at today, folks. As we exit 2025, this is where we're at today. AI killed the girl boss. They got the girl bosses and the boss bees. They got all of y'all in the crosshairs. AI, when we went to the 20th century, as we came into the 20th century in the industrial society, halfway through that, we had this office society. So you had these desk jobs. So the females could sit there at their typewriters and their word processors. And it made them get very arrogant and very haughty. They got very arrogant about that. It didn't create a better class of females. It created a more arrogant one. Next thing you know, she told herself that her ability to type on keys gave her value. As a matter of fact, not just value, superiority. That's what they took away from that. So we sat here and said, okay. And now they had about a good 60 years of blowing their heads up, and they didn't use that as their opportunity to say, you know what, why don't we be better women? They use it as their opportunity to say, I'm a goddess and let me go ahead and look down on the peons. And it's like, okay. But you see, those types of jobs, even though they didn't know it at the time, those types of jobs were susceptible to replacement. Having people input data was something that automation could eventually learn to do itself. It used to be you had to have a person work the typewriter or a person work the computer. Now the technology is allowing them to bypass that altogether. That was what they didn't count on. They didn't count on that. So now, in the 21st century, those are easily replaced. It's the very dirty stuff that isn't easily replaced. The dirty stuff, the manual labor, the critical thinking skills, the technical analysis, the logical, mechanical thinking and analysis. That's the part that isn't so easily replaced. As a matter of fact, attempts to do that are going to meet with abject failure. Let me explain to you all a few things. Elon Musk and his robot scam, do not expect that to make any major changes for one reason, people. Simple math. Elon isn't going to be giving away robots. They're not going to be giving them away. They're going to be selling them. And understand something. He already sells cars. Is Elon trying to sell cars for as little as he can? Or is he trying to sell them for as maximum profit as he possibly can? Take a look at all the car manufacturers. Is anybody trying to produce a cheap car? Anyone? Elon Musk, if he was going to take over the car game, why isn't he producing? He's the richest man in the world. Why isn't he producing the cheapest cars in the world? They're trying to do literally every possible thing they can to squeeze every nickel and dime and penny that they possibly can out of people. Did you forget about that? So if he's not trying to make cheap machine cars today, what makes you think he's going to be trying to make cheap machine robots? Go take a look at your farming equipment. That equipment costs hundreds of thousands of dollars and then tens of thousands of dollars to repair. They still got illegals out in the fields, people. They still have illegal humans in the fields. While they're sitting up here telling you about robots. Take a look at that. The farmers, if the machines were cheaper, why wouldn't they have the machines out there doing it? There will be some things machines may be able to do cheaper. I think we've already maxed it out. So beyond that, are you kidding me? If they do bring you a new machine, it will cost radically more than the previous machines did. If they do bring you a new machine, it will cost radically more than the old machine. Human labor, you can get human labor's costs suppressed down to practically nothing. You can't do that with machines. You either pay the freight or you don't get it. You either pay what it costs to get it or you don't get it. So if Elon or Oracle or Amazon or whoever start making machines, even if they could do what people do, which they won't, but even if they could, people, they're going to be trying to charge as much as possible, not as little as possible. They're going to be trying to charge as much as they can. It doesn't matter where along the line you get. Nobody's trying to make the cheapest item anymore. Oh, that's the part you forgot about. While they were giving you their sales pitches online and their headlines online, by the way, take a look at what they're actually doing. Well, there'll be self-driving cars. No, they won't. They will be machines hooked up to a subscription service, to an algorithm. Machines hooked up for a service that you have to keep paying in perpetuity. And even for other businesses, you'll have to pay a commercial license. So the cars, they want cars and machines to be software as a service. Not software as a product, but software as a service. You'll never stop paying for it. So they're lying to you when they lead you into thinking that you'll be able to get by, and you'll eventually, it'll be like the old days when we had our Walkman and our boom boxes and our televisions. Hell, they don't want your TVs to be free anymore. So don't let them mislead you about what the end game will actually be. And where the ladies are concerned, I've never been worried one way or the other. Folks can get out here and do what they want to do, but please understand that math is going to rule everything. And you can deny it if you'd like to, but this is what you're looking at going forward. Everybody else is basically going to be sitting there talking trash on social media. Those are the goofy heifers who still got their little penny jobs for all the good it's done them. And as time goes on, they're already squeezing people for as much productivity as possible. Hell, the females aren't even doing manual labor, and they're constantly screaming about how fatigued they are and how depressed they are. Well, if the only thing that can help you keep your job is if you are 3 times as more productive as a machine would be doing it, if you have to be 3 times more productive than a machine, get ready for the grinder. And I don't mean the dating app.
Nigga, please.
I don't mean the dating app. This is where it's going now. Do you think the ladies are ready? The layoffs are already beginning. Everything's already contracting. Do you think the ladies are ready? Can you imagine when this number gets up to 1 million or 2 million? Do you think they're ready? All the chicks with all the single moms with their kids and whatnot still trying to live under the 80s. And can I just get a man to sponsor me and give me a check for these kids here while I provide zero residual value? Do you think they're ready? Do you think that they're ready? Because I doubt it. However, you might disagree. You might. Therefore, we're going to go ahead and open up the Zoom for you all here tonight. I know it's Black Friday, so Mr. Black is here. We are holding court as always, and we're glad to have you all here with us. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who's contributed for tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to Young Investor. Thank you very much for your support tonight. We appreciate that. Shout out to WayHep31. Nothing but empirical factual proof. My man Nazir Abdullah, the Technical Brute. Rue the All Love Podcast. Tom Slick is in the house. And everybody else here, thank you very much tonight. We appreciate that. You know, we're going over this because everybody else is missing these things. This is not about, did you see a report from American Express a decade ago? It doesn't matter about who the females are who are single. The real issue is the system becoming more free, or is the system simply grinding them into butter? Are they going to have more freedom here? Or are there going to be a bunch of chicks running around in a rat race? In cities that are outrageously expensive, you see men are minimalists. Men are minimalists. So you see, as the situation becomes more oppressive, men will do without. Women will immediately go out and spend everything they got to make themselves feel emotionally better. You have an housing market that is completely out of control. Mathematics is starting to dictate that in many cities it's better to rent for the rest of your life than it is to pay a mortgage. And yet you have females lined up to get a mortgage, even though the math no longer justifies it, because they're going off of their feelings. They refuse to scale down, so as a result, they'll just be working for what they want, not for what they need. Men are willing to minimize. Men are willing to do without. Men are willing to scale back. Truth be told, the only reason you have extravagant houses is because a man gets a woman around. What men do and what men buy when they're by themselves is radically more Spartan than when a female's around. Men don't go to expensive restaurants. Men don't go for extravagant vacations. Men don't do that. Men have a very stripped, bare, threadbare life when a female is not involved. Men save money very easily when women are not involved. When men are by themselves, men save money far more easily. Men have fewer distractions. They certainly have fewer possessions, and the possessions are not nearly as expensive. It's only when men have to start prioritizing competing in the sexual marketplace, all of a sudden the value and the price and the expenses skyrocket. When the women are by themselves, the expenses don't diminish unless she simply can't afford it. And then if she can't afford it, she tries to figure out, well, is there a man I can lay up with or something else to subsidize it? But if I see it, I want it, even if I can't really afford it. Welcome to lifetime debt, which is where most black women are today. Most black women are in lifetime debt. And so by definition, the reason they spend all their time on social media talking about men and what men are doing is to try to coerce men into giving them something. Baby, if you had the man to give it to you, you'd be there with the fella giving it to you. You wouldn't be on social media complaining about it, about what the fellas are not giving you. But even then, unfortunately, it's not like you get off the hamster wheel. Right now, men need to be very careful under this environment. Men really do. Men need to be careful under this environment because there's going to be a whole bunch of cutthroat, predatory behavior out here preying on the weakest and most vulnerable males. The weakest and most vulnerable males are the fellas who are lonely. If you are a male who is lonely, then they are going to be targeting you. That's what you see happening right now. It isn't that they love the pension pimps. It's that they're looking, she's telling you about how fly you are at your old age. Just dude, she sniffs a pension. She sniffs some unearned income coming in. That's what she detects. She detects that. There's going to be a whole bunch of fellas out here in the 21st century going forward. It's going to be a whole bunch of fellas out here who are going to find themselves sitting up in the hot seat. They're going to be targeted. They're going to have their hooks in you. She just wants to know, do you have a steady income coming in? Let me go ahead and get them hooks in you. And primarily, it's going to target the lonely males. The fellas who he go to sleep at night and he ain't really got nothing laying next to him. Just like the pimps look for the little chick who looks lonely. She looks like she's lost. She looks like a runaway from home. These chicks are going to start targeting you lonely dudes. They already are. But they're going to start targeting the little lonely fellas. You done worked 20, 30 years. You got everything except a woman. You don't have the social skills. You're awkward. And she's going to be like, okay, well, why don't you take care of me and my 3 kids? Why don't you help me shoulder this debt? And away you go. Let's go ahead and jump over here on Zoom right quick. All right, we got Michael over here on Zoom. All right, Michael, I'm waiting for him to connect his audio. What's on your mind, Michael? Okay, Michael was there. Now he's not. He was laying on the couch like an old Alexander O'Neal album. What? So yeah, he was literally laying on the couch on one side like one of them old Freddie Jackson albums. So folks get real relaxed when I start hosting. They get real relaxed when I start hosting. So in any case, I want to send a message to the men right quick, though. To the men, I got to tell you, fellas, this is not an automatic win. Please understand something. If you get the idea that if we could just get the system to stop economically subsidizing the females, everything will be all right. Well, it certainly does swing things in your favor, but it doesn't make it a home run, because the bottom line is that if you are a loser, you are still a loser. So this idea that if you can get the system to remove some of the females' options, that automatically you will win by default. I see a lot of fellas who think that's the way it's going to go down, and that's not the way it's going to happen. That's not actually the way it's going to occur. You're not going to start winning because, oh, well, if we can just get the government to snatch some of them benefits, we'll win by default. That is not what's going to do it. You're not going to just win by default and be like, okay, I am still uncompetitive. I am still unproductive. I am still in the bottom 50 percentile. But, well, now she has to accept me the way I am. Just like you would rather have a gaming console or a car than a disagreeable, unpleasant female. Don't forget, a female would rather be the side chick to a winner than the main chick to a loser. So as long as you are uncompetitive, please do not deceive yourself into thinking, oh, great, this will free up more room for me to be uncompetitive. Please don't tell yourself that, because that's not what's going to happen. Something else is going to occur. That's not what's going to happen. And granted, there are a lot of loser females out here. Absolutely. What I'm telling you is that don't think that you're going to win by default if the females lose a job or something. Please don't deceive yourself into thinking that, oh, great, now I don't have to compete anymore and I don't have to do anything anymore. You still have to be a better option than her job. You still have to be a better option than making a fool of herself on OnlyFans. The bottom line is, no matter what occurs, just like a female has to prove that she is a better option than your gaming console, a better option than your hunting trip, a better option than your car, a better option than you being on the couch watching the game alone. Just like she has to be more pleasant for you than that, you have to be a better option than those other things. You have to be a better option than her jobless situation. You have to be a better option than her job situation. You still have to do that. You still have to do that, because the bottom line is that you can tell yourself, well, she losing. Okay. But if you're losing, it really kind of evens out. Let's see if we can get Brother Lex up here on Zoom for me right quick. All right, Brother Lex, what's on your mind?
What's going on, Brother Jason? I actually had a quick question. Do you think, so going back to your point regarding being a better option, so in this case, the woman being a better option for a man's solitude if he has hobbies and he actually has a business and things of that nature. Do you think she knows whether or not her presence is appreciated? I guess, like, let's just say there are times where I'll probably deal with a woman that I'm just like, yeah, I just don't even want to talk to you right now, or you're more annoying than you are adding value into whatever else I have going on. And there are cases where she would probably say, "Am I bothering you, or do you feel like I'm a burden to you?" What prompts that line of thought? If they know that, then why don't they provide some sort of corrective action, or do they just expect us to just accept it? I just wanted your take on that.
Okay, well, if a person is asking you that, then obviously they've been giving cues that they can see that that's an issue. What they're looking for is to see if you will, have a conversation and explain that to them, which I think is a good way of doing that, because as men, we don't like it when females want us to read their minds.
Fair enough.
So we don't like that, and yet men will do the same thing. So because what you just articulated was shouldn't she just know? What I'm saying is, well, you get it, but she's dealing with you as an individual. So, and the reason why this is confusing is because this is the skill set that worked with. First of all, if she's spending time with you, you gave her the impression that that was okay.
Fair enough.
But
okay.
Primarily, this is the skill set that worked with the folk before you. So if these are the characteristics that were acceptable before you, now she's with you and you're like, that's not really making the cut. This may be the first time that she's encountered that, because it was perfectly fine before you. And that's why I try to remind you all, hey, what worked for another man, what qualified for him may not qualify for the next fella over here. But just understand, if you're letting her have time with you, you're giving her the impression that whatever she's doing, that is sufficient. Now, you know that.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just like, well, the sex is great no matter what, okay. But if that is primarily what her value is to you, but she's got access to you a whole bunch of the time outside of that, then what are you communicating? Because if you're giving her hours of time that's not sexual and the only thing you really enjoy is the sexual part and everything else is annoying, why does she have access to you outside of that? And then you're asking, why is she talking like this? Well, she's talking like this because you give her time outside of that. Well, you thought she'd be fulfilling outside of that, but she isn't. But you're not cutting off that time. So she's like, okay, you're giving me access, but it seems like you're annoyed by the access you're giving me. Well, doesn't she know what's wrong? No, she thought everything was okay.
That's fair enough.
After all, you open the door. So as men, we sit up here and lambast women about, okay, you claim you don't like Pookie and Ray Ray, and yet you got a crazy body count of Pookie and Ray Ray. Well, I wasn't really feeling them like that. It was just this, that, and the other. They were just playmates. Okay, first of all, you got a lot of damn playmates. Second of all, if he wasn't really worth anything, how'd he get so much time with you? So do you see how that's a two-edged sword?
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I see what you mean. I just re-listened to your broadcast, two of them, which is Work Until You Die, and one regarding your man is your job. So, and those are like almost hitting that 5-year mark at this point. So I'm just curious to know, where do you kind of foresee or project this thing going now, with the advancements of AI and just jobs kind of being decimated? Where do you kind of see things trending?
AI is going to have an impact. It already is. How large it is, I think a bunch of folks are grossly overselling it. However, what it is going to do is it is going to consolidate a lot. You will not need as many people as you do. So what I'm saying is, a lot of the low-hanging fruit that females used to be able to depend on in air-conditioned environments and indoor environments, those little soft, cushy things they call jobs and really ain't, that made them feel better. A lot of the low-hanging fruit is going to go away. Now, that's going to happen. So it's going to create a more competitive environment. It's going to put the financial squeeze on things. and it's going to force a lot of folks to make decisions.
Yeah, but to your point, I'm hearing people in their 30s going back to get their law degrees and trying to be junior bar holders to try and get into corporate law. Like it doesn't make much sense. You're going. I know you've spoken about this to great length in the past about in terms of women going back to school to try and get higher education to try and get a better job, but that's not always the case. You're probably going back in and you're still kind of stuck. So
I mean, we've been watching the females, quote unquote, go back to school now for 30 years. That's not new.
Yeah.
So if college was really giving them the dividends that folks would assume, they would be the richest, most affluent people in America, but they're not. So clearly all that degree chasing isn't really giving the return on investment that a lot of people, especially the women, are assuming. Obviously, that's not happening based on what we see.
Yeah. And to your point, actually, we are seeing, I don't know if you recently, heard, I don't know the numbers outright, but we are seeing college admissions rates decreasing. So a lot of these schools are tapping into their endowment fund and they're losing money because they can't, bring in, new students to get those dollars. So, the interesting points. That's all I really wanted to touch on. So thank you again, Brother Jason. Appreciate it.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to put the squeeze, folks. It's going to apply the pressure. And you know what happens when people get pressure applied to them. All right, let's go ahead and get Great Lakes Champion up here for me right quick. All right, Great Lakes Champion, what's on your mind? Unmute yourself. See if you're going to unmute yourself, sir.
Oh, I got it. I'm slanging and banging too. Hey, y'all. Would have to ask you. You caught me off guard a little bit. Yeah, so with all the AI attacking all the jobs and everything, how do you think that's going to affect the dating market with some women, wanting some of the men who they may be socially awkward, but they're still working, not retired yet? And then I was going to ask you about some advice I've seen some mothers tell their sons, you don't need to work out, just get a good job and pay the bills and you'll get a woman down the road.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of women raise their sons to be the simps that they wish they could have found. So they don't give you, we covered that in my Dark Arts game on Patreon. That was the first one I did. But a lot of women, they're not going to tell their sons, really how to be men. First of all, she doesn't know it. She's really going to just give you advice to make you into the kind of simp that she wished she could have found herself. So the advice they give you is advice that serves females, not advice that serves you. They'll tell you, do what's right and you'll get a female down the line. They tell the females, do what you need to so you don't need no man. So you notice it tends to conflict. It also tends to be bad advice because biology is biology. As far as your first question, though, fellas are going to have to be careful. There's just going to be a lot of people targeting you. It's going to be a lot. And what it's going to be is it's going to be a lot of double agents. They're going to be making you think they like you. And in reality, she needs a place to stay. She needs a sponsor. She needs some help. So a lot of fellas are going to get took in because females can look at you and see if you're a comic book nerd. She can see if you're a geek. And she can see if you're not a fella who gets a lot of female attention. I mean, what should I say? Let me rephrase that because a lot of people misinterpret what that means. Okay, we got a lot of noise going on back in the background there, brother.
All right, hold on.
I got a PA system or something. I don't know what's going on. But a lot of fellas, that's why a lot of people talking about Akash Singh right now and others. Most guys don't know what it's like to get genuine, sexual attraction from females just at first impression. They're not used to that. Well, women as a group, they can identify a male who he just doesn't get primal sexual female reaction like that. And so those guys, she automatically knows, oh, you don't really have a lot of females who give you attention. But then she figures, okay, why is that? And if she can see, oh, he's nerdy, he's geeky, so he's focused on being a good worker, He's focused on his skill set. He's focused on his expertise. So yes, it hurts his people skills because he's been picking up so many technical skills. So even though she's not attracted to you like that, she's like, well, he can be useful. And what you're going to see is there are going to be a lot of fellas who are going to be taken unawares. They're going to be taken off guard because they're naive. Or I've said this about them before here. I said this last week that most simps are closet narcissists. So that's another thing. Most simps are going to get taken unawares because he wants to believe that he's better than Pookie and Ray Ray. He wants to believe that he's superior. And so females can see when you're a geek, you're an introvert, and you've also got those narcissistic, conceited tendencies. And most simps are closet narcissists. So that's how you get took as a Russell Wilson or the others. And there's going to be a lot of fellas right now who are not going to be able to tell that they're going to think that that at some point they just became a hot ticket and that women just really dig them. And in reality, women can just see he's lame and he doesn't get a lot of female responses. And females are going to start throwing it at him because they think he's easy pickings, and he is. And he's going to be blind to it. So there's going to be a lot of fellas I predict in the next 10 years going to get took just like that. Hell, it's already happening. It's already happening.
Well, how is that? Don't guys compare themselves to other men and just see that, hey,
no,
these guys have this?
Socially,
I did it all the time,
okay, yes. Men do compare themselves to other men, but what you're saying is don't they compare themselves to the ceiling? And that's not usually what happens. Especially males raised by single mothers. He gains an image of himself in his head. He tells himself that this is his value. And then he looks at other males and then he starts looking down on them. And then he says, okay, well, I'm better than that guy over there. Well, that's not, you're comparing yourself to him, but are you comparing yourself to the ceiling? Are you comparing yourself to the 1%? Or are you comparing yourself to the bottom 50%? And most males are not really comparing themselves to excellent men. They're just comparing themselves to the men that they think they got the edge on.
Damn. Then, okay. Then why don't some guys look at a woman's past? Like, if the last three, I was just telling people about this and they looked at me like I was crazy. But if the last 2 or 3 guys this woman dated, they look nothing like you. Or even if the ratio, they look nothing like you, but they're all tall, professional athletes, newscasters, politicians, whatever, and you're nothing like that.
Most males don't want to know. He doesn't care. Most males are willfully ignorant. He doesn't care why she's there. He just cares that she's there. So as long as she shows up whenever he wants, he turns the blinders on. He does not do his due diligence. And besides, remember, they're closet narcissists. So he wants to believe that this is what he's owed. And that, of course, I get this because all the other women were just stupid.
That makes sense when Kanye West said in that song, I feel like bitches owe me sex. That was the closet narcissism. I get what you're saying now. Okay, yeah. Yeah, now everything makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, simps want to believe things. And when you're a person who wants to believe things, there's going to be somebody who wants to sell it to you. And the women are not avoiding certain types of males because they don't see what it is. They're avoiding it because, it's like, okay, dude, you got a nice job, I guess. You make a good income, but you're a geek. You're awkward. You're a Russell Wilson. I want a fella who I'm primally attracted to. I get sexual urges about. I want that. And the little geeky fellow who feels like he's supposed to get rewarded for all of his, quote, hard work, he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I did all the right things. So he wants to believe that, of course, this is supposed to happen. He doesn't see that, no, dude, this is set up. And especially when multiple women start doing it, they won't be able to see that. Men who are producing are going to be a resource. Women are going to start lowering their standards as far as what they're sexually attracted to. in order to get a sponsor. Now, what will hold is women will not do this in their 20s. The age thing is still going to hold. So the females in their 20s who get the most responses from the most valuable men, they're not going to do that. It's still going to be once women age out, they bring the bastard kids, they bring their debt, they bring all their baggage. That's what's going to start skewing. Those women are going to start skewing more towards that. Because the girl trips are boring and they only get more expensive. There's the problem. Brunch is only getting more expensive. And they're going to want somebody else to take care of that, which is why they're trying to convince you with the reverse psychology. I'm okay. I'm all right. Everything's fine. I'm fine without a man. If you were fine without a man, you would not be going telling people that you're fine without a man. You would just be fine without a man and without online, and you wouldn't be talking about men. She's trying to signal to you that everything's fine because that's supposed to signal that she has value. Like that cluck on Facebook I was showing y'all. She's supposed to be signaling to you that she's got value and that if you're not doing nothing, that's okay. But the bottom line is this only gets tougher, man. The environment's only getting harder. It's only going to get tougher. So if men are naive, and there's still a lot who are, there's just a lot gonna get took because they don't want to know the body count. They don't want to know the past. He wants to believe that his ship has finally come in with no additional effort on his part. He feels like I've already worked hard enough, haven't I? Why do I gotta do more? Just drop it off.
Yeah, I just realized you can't even communicate. Like if you're one of those guys like Russell Wilson, I think me and Russell Wilson are the same, like socially. I mean, maybe I might be a little bit better, but it's no way he can communicate with Sierra that well. Like I notice when I talk to women that are like that sophisticated socially, you can't communicate with them. Not that well, because everything, they just want you to just get it. It's supposed to be everything's implied. Compared to another socially awkward woman, you have to explain everything. And I'm able to communicate. So I don't get how these guys think they get the woman, even with the narcissism, but they can't communicate with them. Like, what are they talking about?
No, I mean, just like men can play women for a fool, women play men for a fool. And a lot of males are going to get played for a fool.
Yeah, that's sad. Well, on that note, I'm going to keep listening to the program.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Let me see if we can get Arthur up here. All right, we got Arthur up here on Zoom for me. All right, Arthur, what's on your mind?
Question. Based off of what you're saying in your program today, does that mean more women are probably going to start settling for men that's making less, like doubling up on somebody who's making less? And I guess my second question I wanted to ask you too was maybe like a year or two ago on your other broadcast, you did the best of the worst callers. Are you going to be doing that for the business?
I don't know. It just depends as things get more along there. Maybe one of these days I'll have somebody to compile those things because it's just like there's just so many of them now. It used to be a rarer occurrence, but now it's the world's gotten so damn goofy. There's just so many of them. I'd probably be a couple of hours going through them.
I would love to volunteer to put that together for you because you've got a lot on the business that leaves me speechless. But yeah, does that mean women will start doubling up on men that make less? So if somebody like a man is making 60, 70,000, he would have the ability to double up on women? Like, will they come to their senses, or what do you see that going?
Okay, here's the issue. The issue is that for most males today, they lack a personality. They try to compensate for that personality with something else. That's where the issue comes in. A simp is somebody who, I've told y'all, the definition of a simp is someone who thinks he can buy respect. Well, he doesn't have the character or the personality that naturally engenders it, so he's got to bargain with something else.
Okay.
You know, the simps don't have leadership. Steve Harvey doesn't have leadership ability. Russell Wilson, quarterback with no leadership ability. Other men he can't lead other men. So with that being the case, he's got to bar when he meets females, he has to bargain with something other than that because that's a characteristic he doesn't have. It's a characteristic he just doesn't have. So they get locked into that. And because they never develop a personality, there's where the animal magnetism comes from. The animal magnetism and attraction comes from having a personality and everything that you express with that. If you're trying to avoid that because you grew up kind of sheltered, you were introverted, comic book geek or whatever, and you never developed real high level interpersonal skills, you're 30 something years old and still looking at pickup artists to figure out a pickup line for women. You know, there's a key indicator. That right there is your problem, and no amount of income is going to offset that. So, but what it will do is get a chick to tolerate your presence. Well, yeah, because she's going to buy her way out of that annoyance. She's going to go grab your credit cards, and that's how she's going to be. You're going to call that being with you. In reality, she's just with MasterCard.
Yeah.
Now, to the other thing you said about, well, if a fella's making $70,000, if you're making $70,000 right now, you can kick it with a $30,000 chick today.
And deal with it, nigga.
I mean, you can do that right now. There's nothing preventing fellas from doing that today. Here's the issue. Fellas want to complain about the $30,000 chick. A $30,000 chick is a toss-up. Come on now. I mean, if a broad's making $20,000, $30,000 a year, she's a toss-up.
So the last two questions I have there, should men start, because I've never paid attention to what a woman makes because I know she's not going to spend it on me. But should men start paying attention to what a woman makes to kind of gauge it? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of women have good personalities. And maybe that's just me, but I don't think they have personalities. It's what they follow on Instagram and what other women are doing. They just follow suit. I don't think women have personalities like that.
Well, most men don't have personalities. We should not be surprised that most women don't. I mean, most women, their personalities today really comprise bimboism. So the world has become a very bunch of boring people with no personalities, no character, redeeming character traits, nothing interesting going on. I mean, it's not. I mean, you're sitting at a damn restaurant with your girlfriend. I mean, that's interesting. Oh, please.
No.
So,
No.
but it's going to be more, you're not going to be able to buy your way out of it. And you can only develop a personality if you have some lifestyle, if you have some life experiences. So these are the things that make you valuable, male and female. Those are the things that make males and females valuable, is having a personality. You're not going to be able to circumvent that. That's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to get around that. If you don't develop a personality, then you set yourself up for folks to tolerate your presence, which is what a lot of folks are going to end up with. So you complain about it with the women, and I can understand that, but really that's kind of reflective across the board. The difference is that what women expect from men is not the same as what men expect from women. So that's the difference. So about your question there, I'm not going to say that, women are doing what's necessary or what's to their advantage. And I think what trips a lot of men up is that can shift over time, or at least they switch tactics. So women are not going to just stay monolithic. That's not what's going to occur. They see what's happening and they adapt within their feminine frame to the environment that they're in. They adapt that. You don't have to put value. You need to value everything a woman does, including if she makes money. You need to value that. However, what I'm saying is you need to take that into account. If she is a simple female with simple tastes and she has a simple job, okay, everything matches. This is all things you have to take into account. If she's a simple female with expensive tastes and this, that, and the other, okay,
yes. Got it.
This doesn't match. I need to take this into account because that's not going to go away. And it's not going to stop being a problem.
Got it.
Especially if you're doing radically differently than her. You're doing radically better than her. Wake up, dude. Wake up. So now I'll also say, though, is more important than what it means to you is what it means to her. What a woman's job means to her is more of a warning sign than what it means to you. If she defines herself by her job, if that is her chief defining characteristic, those are the females you all got the complaints about. The chicks who want to tell you that the reason she can act a fool is because she has a job. Half of everybody got a job.
So she's talking about, I'm a insert title here, and that's her whole.
Yes, I mean, when she starts bragging about her job, so it's not about whether she has a job that you can brag on. The question is, does she brag on it? It's not about what you think about it, although that does matter. But more important than what you think about it is, what does she think about it? Okay. And if she defines herself, if she prides herself on her job, just understand the only thing that can be useful for is challenging your authority.
Got it.
That's the only thing that's useful for. If she makes it clear that she's not looking to you as her financial leader or her social leader, well, she's like, yeah, my finances give me veto power. So look out for a female who communicates clearly that she prides herself on her job, because in a relationship with you, what that really means, I'll translate that. That means I have veto power.
Got it. This will be my last question. I'm going to land my plane. You've been calling it play-by-play for Ciara and Russell. I think they're going to get a divorce. I think she's going to initiate it. But once this season, I guess when he's officially done and nobody's picking him up, do you think there'll be a long time lapse as to when she's like, all right, I'm done with this nigga? Or is it going to be like immediately? Like, what's your thoughts on that? And I don't wish bad on anybody. I do not wish this, but I mean, it's what it looks like it's going to happen. But do you think there'll be like I'll get this nigga 2 years before I drop these papers? Or she's just going to be like, all right, here are these papers because you're no longer in the NFL? If you want to make that prediction.
Well, the typical pathway that this has gone for these athletes as soon as they retire, usually within that last season, the cracks start forming. It becomes clear within that whatever's going to be their last season, because the woman gonna know. She's gonna know if you're not going back next year, either because the team doesn't want you or because you decided you're not going back. So if she's getting ready to jump ship, she knows when she got to do it, because you've told her. You've told her if the team isn't going to bring you back or if you're not going back. So she knows the exact time window. The general public is guessing. Your woman knows what that window is. And in pro sports today, what we've witnessed is the cracks start forming in that final year. And usually once he actually is gone, and I think they just stick around for a couple of years just to make sure you ain't going back. And then she's like, okay, time to pull this ripcord. So generally speaking, I'm thinking in Russell's case, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Ciara, now that she's been called out publicly about it and she knows everybody's looking, I think she's going to try to save face. So what I believe that means is that she is either going to stick around and do a Jada Smith on him, do a Jada Pinkett on him, or she's going to try to come up with some reason to say it was his fault, that she didn't want to leave, but it was his fault. So I'm predicting one of those two will happen. So if she leaves, she's going to say it was his fault, and she's going to make that public. If she stays, the only reason she'll stay is because she's doing a Jada Pinkett on him.
I wish divorce on that. Should no man go through that?
No, Russell will stay. Russell
really?
will, yes. Oh, absolutely. Russell
No.
Russell will stay. Russell will forgive because Russell, he is too invested in her. Everything he keeps talking about is getting her pregnant. Russell knows he doesn't have a strong grip, and he has gone all in with her. He did everything she wanted. I guarantee there's no prenup, and even if there were, it doesn't matter. He spent too much money, made too much money, bought too many things. So that's it. She's already got the meal ticket.
You don't think he would leave if he's being abused, like if he's getting the Will Smith treatment? You really think he's so deep in the game that he is just going to accept it for the rest of his life?
I mean, Russell defines himself by that. Look, he's heard what the public has said now for the last decade. He heard it. So if the marriage dissolves for any reason or either reason, he knows what's going to happen next. He knows what's going to happen next. Everybody's going to be like, we told you. So damn. I think that he is really going to go. He's got to dig his heels in. He cannot jump ship. He got to dig his heels in. He's given too much, brother. When you got 3-4 kids with her, that's it. You belong to the game. Those kids were supposed to keep her locked down. Those children were supposed to keep her locked down. So if that begins to fail, he doesn't have anything else. So it's not going to be him getting up and leaving the marriage. It's not going to be him. If that were to happen, he would just be this outrageous glutton for punishment because he knows everybody's mocking him already. So no, I think Russell's going to sit there. He's going to whine. He's going to moan. He's going to forgive. He's going to try to do he's basically Will Smith because, but with Will, everybody told Will, everybody's been saying it now for the better part of the last 20 years. It's not new. August Alsina, come on, y'all. She was telling you that her and Will had been together for 6-7 years. Remember? So yeah. That wasn't new. That we're going on a decade now of this weird, not really married marriage, bruh. And there's a whole bunch of folk in Hollywood like that. Whole bunch of folk in sports like that. So if Russell can be like, look, as long as we stay married, she can't take half my stuff.
That's embarrassing.
Let me just make the best of the situation because if I leave, she gonna get half. If she leaves, she gonna get half. If I just sit here and suck it up, as long as she's willing to not pull the trigger on it, we can both avoid public humiliation, and I guess I'll just make the best of it.
But if Sierra pulls the trigger, do you think there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to pick her up, or is she just going to end up like Kim Kardashian, just running through dudes?
No, she's going to end up like Cardi B.
Ooh. What? That's worse.
I mean, that's what's happening out here. I mean, you said Kim K, but there's Kim Kardashian, Cardi B. The bottom line is there'll be a sucker out there who'll take you, but it's not going to be at the caliber and quality of where you were. Mm. That's the issue. Ciara wanted Future. That's what she wanted. He had the appeal, the swag, the leadership, the clout, but he ain't a one-woman man. Okay, and then he got other chicks pregnant. Well, that's what you bargained for, baby. She didn't want to have to sit with that. So she jumped to Russell. Russell was a downgrade.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Russell was a downgrade, but he was a soft place to land and gave her plausible deniability of losing the value of Future. After Russell, there ain't going to be another one. There will not be another 8-figure dude after Russell Wilson. This is the last one.
So, and I know I said this my last question, but you got women like Ciara, Kim Kardashian, they'll always end up downgrading. What's that girl you just did a program about not too long ago? It was with Michael B. Jordan. I can't remember her name. And now I don't even know who she's with.
Lori Harvey.
Yes. Why can't they just sit their ass down with somebody that they got that's good? What is it about them that can't see the last train leaving before it's too late? Why can't they?
Because she thinks she's better than you. Ciara could never be satisfied with Russell Wilson because she knows that she's flyer than him. She knows she's better than him. She knows that she gave him shine. She was an upgrade to him. Socially. As from his perspective. She was an upgrade to him from his perspective. She was a downgrade to us, but from his perspective, she's an upgrade. And she knows this. She knows he's blind and foolish, but she knows it. And that she thinks she's better than him.
Lori Harvey too? She thought she was better than Michael B. Jordan? I'm just trying to clarify because
brother, take a look at their social media. I've been saying this for years. Take a look at their comment sections. They believe that stuff. Take a look at the women in their comment sections. Take a look at the men in their comment sections. Can you imagine what Lori Harvey's DMs look like?
Yeah.
Can you imagine what her DMs look like? How you gonna tell her she is not the flyest thing out here? Have you taken a look at that?
Yeah.
Take a look at what her DMs look like. She is obviously sitting up here knowing that she is the flyest thing ever. How you gonna tell her she's not? So that's the reality that she's dealing with.
Okay. Damn. That's a mean game for women. You're right. Hey, good broadcast, Jason, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you for giving me a call tonight. We appreciate that. Let me get T Spice in the chat room here. Let me get T Spice to call me up on Zoom right quick. Let me go ahead and get T Spice up here for me for a minute. Yeah, going forward here, the naive males who told themselves the rules don't apply, I just want you all to know AI is going to change the game for you too. You're going to think, finally, the pendulum has swung in my favor. You're going to be thinking, finally, I finally got it. It's about damn time that they went ahead and let us run these things here. About damn time we got that. And just letting you know, it's going to be a whole different thing, fellas. It is not going to be that easy. It is not going to be that easy. So to the fellas out there who always have an excuse and they're perfectly fine losing and they're perfectly fine not producing and whatnot, please understand it's going to be a race to the bottom. It is going to be a race to the bottom. The issue isn't that men today can't get a female. There's the other thing. The issue isn't that men today can't get a female at all. The problem is that most men can't get a female that they're actually attracted to. And if this sounds like the opposite inverse of the women, you're correct. The men are unhappy because they can get a chick. I mean, there are very few men who can't actually get a female. There are very few who can't actually do it. That's not the problem. The problem is they're looking for something that motivates them to work 60 hours a week. And then they take a look at the chick who's up to him and she's like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, I'll be damned. I got to work 60, 70 hours a week. I got to earn $200,000 a year. I need some motivation. Yeah, I got a chick with me, but this ain't motivating, man. This is not motivating. And that's the issue that men are running into today. It's not that they don't really have access to women. It's that, well, I got access, but damn, I'm not really digging this. This is not really what I'm digging. This is not really motivating me. But truth be told, most men today, this is what the options are looking like. And they're trying to figure out, hey, I want to have something sexy over here that motivates me too. What I'm saying is that you can't hang out on Ocean Drive. You did all this work to earn $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. You go out on Ocean Drive. You got a great car. You got a good bank account. And this is your female representative. That's the problem. That's not motivating. And the fellas are like, man, look, I need something to motivate me to get out there and throw elbows with these people like that, man. I can't just have any old thing going on here. I got to get motivated for that. And what I see is not motivating me. That's the issue. So if the fellows were really just honest about it, that's what they would be talking about. That's what they would be saying right here is what they would be saying. But they don't want to be, I mean, they can't really be honest about it. They can't really be honest about it. Not really. Not really. So going forward, that's what I'm saying. Hey, if you're uncompetitive, fellas, it's not going to get less frustrating. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. It's going to be equally as frustrating across the board. It'll be equally as frustrating across the board. You will not find it to be more satisfying. The women are going to go looking for a safe harbor. They're going to be looking for a safe harbors, and they're going to resort to tactics. They're going to resort to tactics. So, fellas, I understand it's not a great thing. It's not very motivating. I get that. I get it. I do. You know, this reminds me of that recent case that they were talking about. The woman in North Carolina who sued the TikToker for, quote unquote, taking her husband. And I gotta cover this right quick. Because here's the thing that stuck out to me. What stuck out to me was, by the way, these females are, I mean, if you want to know what the females' options are out there, by the way, fair use, Good Morning America.
Hi guys, let's cook some spaghetti.
This morning, a jury has ordered a TikTok influencer accused of breaking up a marriage to pay.
I mean, look at the magnitude. Look at the magnitude.
This morning,
I mean, there's just nothing small in this picture. And I wish it stopped there, but it doesn't.
A jury has ordered a TikTok influencer accused of breaking up a marriage to pay nearly $2 million to the jilted spouse.
What is that she is dropping in? Is that sausage that she is dropping in there?
$2 million.
Is that sausage she's dropping? Because I think I see sausage all over here. Just everything is pork, pork, pork. People. I'm going to let y'all decide what this shape is. But, oh man. I mean, she got the camera angled up. It's a wide angle. Can't see her behind the light. It's like staring up at the top of a skyscraper. It's just, she is just piling it on. I bet she ain't never got a video at the damn gym. Just ever.
Dollars to the jilted spouse.
I was raised to respect the marriage. I was raised to respect God. Loyalty, marriage, the White House with the picket fence and the dog and the kid.
Fellas, I mean, ladies, I'm just telling you right now, yeah, you ain't got nothing to bargain with, because dudes like this are flagrant and shameless because they got something. If a man is willing to drag the bottom of the dumpster enough, hey, he'll come up with something that'll take care of him.
That's me.
Akira Montague sued Brene Kennard, a TikToker with millions of followers, under an unusual.
The fingers, the arms, the leg, the ever. What is that she's driving? What caliber of tires does she have on that car? Oh, those are not normal tires. There's no way that those are normal tires. I need to get a set of those. Because I go through some things. I need a set of those tires. Whatever she rolling on, I need to get those ASAP. I need that ASAP. Because I go off-road. I go coast to coast. All the tires I've been through, very clearly hers are a different breed. I need a set of those. Them 595, 75 R130s. What? Whatever the hell she rolling on, I need them. Did she get them from United Airlines? Did she get them from American Delta? I don't know. Whoever is supplying the Southwest Airlines people, whoever's hooking the Southwest Airlines people up, that's I need to give them a call because yeah, I didn't know they make tires for cars. I need a set of them.
State law in North Carolina. Montague claiming that Kennard had an affair with her husband, and as a result, Montague claimed what's known as alienation of affection.
Okay, folks. I'm just going to say this one time. I'm looking at the arms and the cheeks over here. And then I'm looking more recent. I'm like, okay, I think I found the issue. I got a feeling I know what happened. Yeah, he been there for a minute, but I got a feeling I know what happened.
It's known as alienation of affection. Her attorney speaking to our station WTVD.
I think it shows the world that you should think twice before you interfere with a marriage. You should think about those children and that spouse.
The law says plaintiffs in cases like this must prove they're in a loving marriage. The third party must have knowledge of the marriage, and the marriage must have continued during the affair.
It was horrible. Even right now, I don't like going out in public with my kids because I'll get stopped in the store. I can't have fun with my kids to this day because people harass me and so it's hard.
Kennard denied the allegations and claimed the photos and videos were obtained illegally, but the judge rejected her request to dismiss the case.
She represented herself in court, by the way.
Nigga, what?
By the way, she represented herself in court. Do you see these whisk broom eyelashes? So nothing but a bunch of females with big hair, big eyelashes, big body. I mean, everything in the courtroom is big body. Everything in the courtroom is triple XL. What the hell is a man supposed to do? Everything in the courtroom was triple X size.
In the state.
I want people to be able to think, okay, Miss Montague won 1.7.
Okay, so I was just saying to myself, I'll be damned, folks. What's a man supposed to do? What is a fella supposed? Which way is he supposed to go? What is he supposed to do? Everywhere he goes, man, he's just kind of stuck, dude. I mean, it ain't fair. It ain't right. Well, what is a man supposed to do under these difficult circumstances? He's just trying to live. Okay. Let me go ahead and show you all this, by the way. I want to show you another one from it.
Sued the TikTok star who took him and
this is in the courtroom, folks. This is in the courtroom. Do you see this? Now, first of all, I'm going to say something. Raleigh, Durham is hood as hell.
And deal with it, nigga.
Raleigh, Durham is hood as hell. Ain't nothing. I don't know what they doing up there, but ain't nothing upscale about it. No disrespect, Raleigh, you know. Raleigh Durham is hood as hell. Went to the damn Hilton there. Oh, niggas is fighting in the damn hallway at 1 a.m. What? Raleigh Durham is hood. I don't care what y'all think. Raleigh Durham is hood. Whatever you heard, Raleigh Durham is not Charlotte. So, Raleigh is hood as hell. Get ready for the downgrade when you go there. So, stay to the Hilton there once, never know, never again. Never know, never again. So, yeah, but this is the inside the courtroom. So, fellas, feast your eyes at all your options.
And one.
By the way, the big keychain thing here, didn't all this go out back in the 90s? Hell no, and she's in there with the iPad. Who in the hell is the judge? Judge Judy? Who is letting all this go on?
Nearly $2 million.
And here's the other thing. I'm just like, by the way, it's just magnitude. So 3 out of, 1, 2, 3, 4 females. Let's just say this chick down here is at an acceptable size. So in other words, your chances of getting an acceptable size female in Raleigh is 25%. 1 out of 4. 25%. That's your chances of getting an acceptable size female in Raleigh Durham is 1 out of 4. I don't know how many kids she got. I don't know if she already married. Just if you're just looking for an acceptable size, your odds are 25%. And if we start adding all these other women, the numbers go down from there, actually. So we're probably somewhere around 10%, 5%. We're somewhere around there.
People celebrated inside a North Carolina courtroom after a jury found a social media influencer liable in a courtroom.
Fine, I'll back it up here. Nope. And by the way, just the fake hair contingent. Oh my goodness. Even for the fake hair contingent, you might get one. All right. And then everything else. So no, I stand by my 25% or less ratio.
After a jury found a social media.
Wow. Okay. She has. Oh, you damn right. I'm going through this. She has water up here. Baby, if you were doing the water thing, if she was doing the water thing as much as she was packing in all that sausage, yeah, she was doing the water thing like she was doing with the sausage back there and whatnot. Ma'am, things could have been radically different in your life.
Influencer liable for destroying a couple's marriage.
It was nothing but lies.
That's Brene Kennard. She has nearly 3 million followers on TikTok and is now married to Tim Montague.
Okay, so a man ain't got a right to go somewhere else? Is that what y'all telling us? Because if a man did this, you all would call. So if a man sued another man because his wife left him to be with her, left him to be with the other dude, they would call him crazy, a stalker. If Kanye sued Pete Davidson, they would call him crazy and a stalker. If females do this, oh well, that's legit. All right, y'all.
He acknowledged the relationship in court, claiming that Tim's ex-wife, Akira Montague.
I mean, bruh is in this, I'm trying to get back on my feet stage. He went from a chick who was plump to a chick who is just obese, and he's just sitting right there. So he has just basically said, I surrender. I give up. He just surrendered, y'all. He just surrendered and gave up and just forget about it. I'm done. Then does she have big hoop earrings? Baby, your neck ain't long enough to make this work. What is she doing?
Knew about their relationship and permitted it. But Montague sued, accusing Kennard of, quote, alienation of affection and criminal conversation. In other words, seducing her husband and breaking up their marriage. The alienation of affection claim is only valid in a handful of U.S. states, including North Carolina. This is Montague celebrating with her legal team after hearing the verdict. She told the court the affair caused her mental anguish, damaged her health, and deprived her children of a 2-parent household. The jury sided with her after reviewing.
What is this jacket she's wearing? She wore this to court. And who is this big back here? Raleigh, y'all. Raleigh.
700 pieces of evidence, according to affiliate WRAL.
She has received justice from losing her husband and the father of her children.
Kennard is now on the hook for $1.75 million in damages.
But she'll probably never see it.
People, pro tip, don't ever, if you ever find yourself the subject of a verdict or a judgment against you, don't ever go out and say something like this. Because when it's time for somebody to collect against you, if you're not paying them, they'll go back and tell the judge that you're deliberately not paying them. You just sat right there and told them you ain't gonna. Okay, folks, don't ever do this. Don't ever sit up and say you're not gonna pay a judgment. Do not. I'm just letting y'all know, don't ever sit up here and you think you're gonna smart off or whatever. You lost the case, you're gonna smart off. Okay, don't do that. Don't do this.
Montague's lawyer posted a statement.
This right here. And I'm just saying. So, a man is supposed to work 60 hours a week. The thinnest person in this picture is this dude over here. Welcome to a black man's life in North America today. So a man's supposed to make $250,000 a year in Raleigh. And take a look at what he gets for it. I mean, go get you a lawyer. Why? You just get a taller Fannie Willis. I mean, what exactly are y'all expecting the men to do? How hard is a man supposed to work for this? Just explain that one thing to me. How hard do you expect men to work to have this as his reward for all he's done? This is his representative. This is in Raleigh, people. This ain't in a small American city. Just everywhere you look. And I'm just asking, how hard is a man supposed to work for this? You tell me, if he's making $250, $350, $450 a year, what exactly is he supposed to get? I mean, look, old boy is probably like, hey, if I'm going to have an overweight chick, I might as well have an overweight paid one. But I'm just saying, these are your male options in Raleigh and other cities, by the way. So.
Saying in part, we will do everything we can to make sure she collects her judgment.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, folks. Yeah. How hard are men supposed to work for that? What exactly is a man supposed to do to have that as his reward? What exactly is he supposed to do? That's the only question I'm asking. How hard is he supposed to work for that? Well, like I say, going forward here, a lot of folks are going to have to make a lot of decisions. Actually, not a lot of decisions, just a couple of important ones. Look, people, the landscape is getting more competitive. It will continue to get more competitive. The landscape is going to get more difficult. It will continue to get more difficult. That's exactly what it's going to do. And there are a lot of folks out there who are going to try to fight it. There are a lot of folks out there that are going to attempt to fight it, but you're not going to beat math. You're not going to beat math. So here's what I'm going to say to the folks going forward. To the people going forward, I recommend you do something different. I'm just going to recommend you do something different. And so, in that vein, I want to go ahead and make an announcement tonight. So, it is Black Friday. Most of you are off work. That's great. That's wonderful. That's okay. I'm making an announcement in regard to the next Valentine's Day thing. You know, I had a Valentine's Day meetup a couple of years ago. Folks have been nagging me about another one. Are you going to do another one? Are you going to do another one? Well, I was busy last Valentine's Day. I needed to go bring some love to some New York politicians. What? But now, looking forward to next year, we are going to be having another one. However, this one is going to be much smaller. So listen carefully. And of course, it depends on how it goes. But I'm looking at doing another one next year for one reason. We do talk a lot about these kind of things. By the way, Danny Vasquez, you have been MIA. You need to message me, son. By the way, you've been MIA, Danny. So you need to message me, son. In any case, there are going to be rules to this because I'm not going to just do it any old kind of way. It's going to be very different from the last one. This will not be like the last one at all. Last time I had dozens of people. This time there will only be really about 6. What? Damn! This time it will be much smaller. I don't want a large, unwieldy group. I got more people following me and listening to me today than I had then. This is going to be I want this to be a very small gathering. I want this to be small enough to put in my Escalade. I do not want to have tons of people. So, first and foremost, there will not be this Boy Scout troop full of people. I'm looking at having no more than 6 people. And I don't really want them to be old either. So if you are past middle age, I'm not so sure I'm not so sure if this is the spot for you. Really not. I mean, if you are in geriatric pregnancy territory, this might not be the event for you. Might not be. Because I don't want it to be, I really want to skew more towards younger people who are not set in their ways. I just recently had a couple talk to each other. I want to skew it more in that direction, quite frankly. So you can email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com if you are interested. You can email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. To the fellas, if you are still in a rebuilding season, if you are still trying to figure out where you're going, if you're still trying to figure out what you're doing, you just wait until you get things figured out. This is not the one for you either. To the females, if you just want to show up to meet me or to see me,
nigga, please.
One more thing for the females. Ladies, this is not is this a sneaky way to see if I can meet Jason in person? This is not the event for you. This is not the one for you. So if that's your motive, if that's what you're after, if that's your driving influence for it, yeah, no. You can meet other people. I'll be somewhere around, but you're not coming to meet me. You're coming to meet other people. If that's not what you're interested in, that's fine too. However, if you are interested, and I'm going to give priority to those who are in their 20s, I'll give priority to that. I'll let it go into the 30s. I'm just letting you know I'm giving priority to those in their 20s. Everybody's just screwed off. We'll just see how it goes. But you can email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. That's handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. And you can put the subject line Valentine's Day Meetup. Valentine's Day is on a Saturday, I think it is, or next year, Saturday or Friday. Which one is that? Yeah, it's on a Saturday. So it is going to be on a Saturday. So it'll be on the weekend. Although you should be prepared to be around for a couple of days, not just one. You should be prepared to be around for a couple of days. And yes, Gen Z in particular, I really want to skew towards that, because for Gen X, like I say, Gen X, and it's kind of sunsetting on that. But the millennials, kind of sunsetting on them too, as a matter of fact. But definitely for those who have a runway in front of them, because you have so many people out here. And I like to think that my audience and my environment is different, if for nothing more than the host makes a different environment. And I was just thinking you have people here, but by the way, all the folks are scared to meet each other. They are just terrified to meet each other. I literally had to handcuff these two people together just a couple weeks ago. I mean, the intelligent people are filled with doubt, and the stupid people are filled with confidence. And so what kind of future are you going to have if all the people who need it, the idiots, are out here procreating at a frightening level and have been for decades? They're out here spawning like amoeba. And meanwhile, the so-called intelligent people are terrified to death to talk to each other or even encounter each other. So I will just make my effort for it. Yes, Kareem, that's a long time to be hanging out. I'm just saying. It is what it is. It is what it is. But in any case, I'll give priority to that. But if you are interested, email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. Subject line Valentine's Day Meetup. You can go ahead. As a matter of fact, that needs to be Valentine's Day Meetup 2026. Valentine's Day Meetup 2026. The slow bus children are still going to put Valentine's Day Meetup. You're going to get lost. Valentine's Day Meetup 2026. Because I don't want it to get lost in the email among the previous ones. So Valentine's Day Meetup 2026. You need to go ahead and contact me about that, and I'll start getting people together for that. My patrons have known about this for a little while now, but now the general public does. So, like I say, we'll just have 6 people, 3 males, 3 females, no trans people. Damn! I mean, to the trans folk, we'll have a different meetup for y'all. We'll have a different meetup for you. So if you're gender fluid and whatnot, that's fine. We're going to host a different meetup for you all. So right now, this is just for the biological males and biological females. This is the cisgender Valentine's Day meetup. For the rest of you, I'll see what I can put together later. Maybe April 1st or something. I'll see how it work out. The details will only be given to those who are coming. So for everybody else, I mean, it'll be in the continental U.S. Let me just say that. It'll be in the continental U.S., but that's as much as I'm going to say. And it won't be in an outrageously expensive city. So New York, L.A., and that's off the table. New York, L.A., probably Miami too. I'm just going to yank those off the table from the beginning. So it won't be in the ultra expensive megalopolises or the way out places. But I'm only going to be giving that information to the people who are actually approved for it. So be ready for that, and also be ready to be there for a couple of days. It's not going to be something that I would want to rush through. It's not going to be something I want to rush through. So be ready to be there for a couple of days, and then we'll see then. We'll see then. In the chat room, Kareem, I'm just saying, Kiana sitting up there told Kareem, I'm one of those too. Okay, you both in your late 30s. These two niggas are sitting up here flirting in the chat room. Y'all need to be talking to each other. I'm just saying.
And deal with it, nigga.
This is why I want to get the younger folk, because the folks in their late 30s have spent 20 years circling the airport and not landing. Then they want me to put something together for folks who've been circling the airport for 2 decades. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm too worried that that's become your habit, that you all are so used to having freedom and latitude and options that you don't want to give up your freedom and your latitude and your options. Okay, that's great. That's fine. That's wonderful. I want to deal with some folk who are like, hey, they don't want to get a 20-30 body count up under them first. Because let's just keep it real. Everybody who's in their late 30s, you either chose bad or you've been circling the airport for decades. And I'm like, okay, I just don't think that's a good sign. So maybe for the folk in their late 30s, okay, you know what? I'm going to let y'all have a vote then. Fine, we will have a vote. Let's see if we can have a vote here. All right. We're going to find out if you all, I'm going to let you all vote as to whether or not we have people in their 30s. All right. There goes the poll there. You all can go ahead and start voting. This is interactive radio. This is interactive radio. So if you all think we should have folk in their 30s, if you think if you want me to have folk in their 30s, we'll see. I might need to put them to the side. So I might want to put them to the side. So Real McCoy said, what date for the trans folk?
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
All right, Real McCoy. Yeah, you can send me an email, or send me an email with the link to your Grindr. Real McCoy, just send me an email with the link to your Grindr. I'll see if I can get somebody to get in touch with you. So just send your Grindr screen name. I'll see if I can get somebody to reach out to you on Grindr and see if they can give you the rest of the information. Yeah, I'll see if I can get them to give you the rest of the information. So we'll see what we can do there. I mean, look, y'all, I'm not discriminating. I'm just saying one gender at a time there's only so much I can do. We have enough to deal with already. I do not want things to get confusing. I do not want things to get confusing. So we're just going to see if we can just take it one miracle at a time here. So please don't make it too confusing for us. I appreciate that. But in the meantime, as I say here, if you are wanting to get involved, you can email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. Handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. Subject line Valentine's Day Meetup 2026. You can go ahead and email me about that. And like I say, once we have the number there, I have the number. Like I said, I'm not going to be selling it every week. It's not going to be broadcast. It won't be on Zoom. It's just going to be for those who are there. It is not for you to broadcast or advertise. If I even think that you have done that, you will be disinvited. So that will be a thing. So far, 64% say that we should allow in folks in their 30s. We got thousands of people watching right now and 186 votes. So far, 65% are saying we should have folk in their 30s show up. So it looks like I'll go ahead and I might have to raise that age limit. Might have to raise that age limit. Might have to do that. Okay, well, so far, the poll is holding it 2/3, so no, Alandra. No, ma'am. By the way, she left a super chat the other day. I was like, damn, I should have read that. No, ma'am. When I say 30s, I mean 30s. So, no. When I say 30s, I mean 30s. So, if they are interested, it looks like we're going to go ahead and allow that because the more people who vote, the more the number goes up for the yeses. So, it looks like I'm probably going to end up allowing that. So, hey. All right, folks, from your 20s to your 30s. All right, from your 20s to your 30s. If you are interested, you can email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. You can email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. Subject line, Valentine's Day Meetup 2026. Get in where you fit in. And we'll have more details about that. More of that will be coming. So I'm giving folks plenty of notice. You will have plenty of notice to make arrangements, plenty of notice to reserve time, plenty of notice to call in sick from your job. What? You'll have plenty of notice to do that. So you know what to do now. You know what to do now. Okay, monochromatic blues, you must be new around here. They didn't get the memo yet. They're new. All right. In any case, we're not going to stay here all night. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. People, the landscape is changing. The landscape is changing. Nothing is staying the same. If you are going to be a part of it, if you're going to be viable, then you need to be a part of it and you need to be viable. The situation has been rough on the females. Take a look at the weight gain. Take a look at the emotional imbalance. Take a look at the personality conflict and cracking. And the pressure is only going to get more intense. It's only going to get more intense. We're going to have to be writing off a bunch of folk. The other reason I don't want people I really didn't want people in their 30s was because I don't want folks who are set in their ways, because I'm really writing off everybody over the age of 40. I'm really writing them off. I mean, if they get by and get lucky, that's cool. That's okay. But for most of them, I know they're just out to get whatever they can get, however they can get it. So to the folks who are younger than that, man, these people in their 40s and 50s and older, it's nothing but cutthroat out here with them. All of them, their runway is already gone, and they're just trying to get whatever they can get, however they can get it. They don't care about lying, cheating, stealing. Everything is transactional because they've already squandered their best opportunities. So everybody got to watch their backs out here. When you talking about these middle-aged chicks and these middle-aged dudes, you got to watch your back out here now, because everybody's trying to compensate for what they didn't do 20 years ago, and they're trying to figure out how to get something for nothing. And I don't want those people and those contaminated generations. And by the way, I'm a part of that, Gen X. I don't want any Gen X people there at all, because At this point right now, as far as moving the ball forward, Gen X, you had your time. Gen X had its time. Gen X had its opportunity. Gen X had every opportunity to do something with it. Gen X did better than the baby boomers because we've been consumed with trying to turn the damn Titanic around. But whatever you didn't do, is just like, I'm not going to mix you with these young folk so somebody from Gen X can sit up here and try to hit on somebody from Gen Y because, oh, well, these hoes from Gen X are bad. I'm like, nigga, what'd you do with the last 20, 25 years? What did you do with the last quarter of a century? What did you do with it? Oh, well, you know, it was hard on me. It was rough. Nigga, please. You need to be over there with the other chicks who ran their options down, and maybe you two will finally decide that, hey, life is, we done screwed up enough. You get somebody who's as screwed up as you are, not somebody who, oh, good, they're virgin territory for me to leech off of them. I don't want that. So I'm just letting you all know that's the reason why I don't want them to be a part of that, because these contaminated generations who had decades of bad habits, decades of stupid stuff, decades of repeating the stupid behavior of the baby boomers and the civil rights folk, I don't want them leeching their way in like they always do, so they can replicate the bull crap that they've been doing for the last 20, 30 years. I don't want them to be a part of it. Robert, you asked too many questions, dude. I mean, I don't understand, bro. I don't know. I'm not going to have you call up, although maybe I need to. I don't understand. Dude, I'm not excluding anything. What am I going to tell you? I'm not part of Gen X. What's your point? What is your point? I like my freedom. So maybe you salty about it. Okay, I like my freedom. I like my options. Oh, I'm that dude. I'm that fella right there. You ain't never heard me complain about having my options. Find somebody else who got a problem with that. I move around how I want to move around. I'm cool with it. I am cool in the gang with it. But I also understand that a lot of these other folk, they're not legit with it. They ain't straight with it. They're not really okay with it. I'm not lonely. I'm not lonely. Most of these fellas out here are lonely. That's the difference. Most of these dudes out here are lonely. So when I say things like, dude, it's okay, sleep with the hoes, sleep with the single moms, sleep with the screwed up crazy chicks, and then send her ass home. Most of these fellas can't do that. He spent his life alone. He never got used to it because he didn't choose to be alone. He spent his life single, but it wasn't by choice. So they're on the internet in comment sections talking stupid as hell, and they didn't choose it. I chose it. I chose to be single. But most of these fellas, they didn't choose it. It was imposed on them, and now they're on the internet and they're very upset about it. They're incel. They're very resentful. They didn't choose it. And they're not choosing it today. Oh yeah, one more thing. They're not choosing it today. They are single until some chick breaks down and is completely out of options, and then she jumps in his lap. And that's pretty much what they're going to be doing. And they're going to be taking the damn cast-offs and the leftovers. And that's really what it is. That's really what it is. So no, I can speak to Gen X, dude. I don't pull no punches. I don't pull no punches with nothing. Yes, I can speak on Gen X because I'm a member of Gen X. I can tell you about what they did right and what they did wrong. I can tell you about the bull crap. I'm not going to sit up here and lie about it. That's what the civil rights generation did. The civil rights generation and the baby boomers, those are the pathological degenerate liars, not me. I can be straight up and down about what it is. I can be straight up and down about it. So no, sir, I'm not excluded. I'm just being real. But furthermore, yeah, I don't want to be a part of it. That's not for me. I'm not doing this for Gen X. That includes myself. I just said I'm not really, females don't show up for me because you're going to be disappointed. No, this is for those who got a runway in front of them and are not carrying a bunch of baggage. And do you have somebody who's got something for that? Not the damn Tom Joyner morning cruise. No, I want folk with baggage to be talking to people with baggage. The people who shuffled their feet and stuff, I want them talking to each other. I want the people who are at similar stages in life, I want them talking to each other, not somebody who's lived a bunch of years and now you're more slick and more cunning and you're more sly. And so you can if you can slither your way into the room, all of a sudden you done grab something that you really shouldn't have access to because you're really not dealing in good faith. No, if you really dealing in good faith, good. Let's find somebody in your group and let's go ahead and get you with them. If you're really dealing in good faith, why don't we do that? I don't want a bunch of Gen X folk trying to relive their 20s because they didn't do what they were supposed to do in their 20s. Let's just keep it a $103. Fellas, if you were in your 20s and you did not develop a personality, you didn't develop character, you're not the most interesting guy in the room, if that's not what you spent the last 25 years doing, don't depend on me and my personality to gather together some females for you to go prey on. No. If you're a Gen X male, you're supposed to have that. If you don't, it's like, okay. But for everybody else, we'll see. So look, you got the email, you got the information, you know what to do. So if you are interested, go ahead and let me know if you want to be a part of that. Handle the business at yahoo.com, subject line Valentine's Day Meetup 2026. You can go ahead and do that. Honorable Ogun, brother, OnlyFans existence is a testament to the fact these fellas didn't figure it out. We have to be brutally honest. Most males haven't figured it out in their 40s or their 50s. Most, not some, the majority haven't got it figured out. They're socially awkward. They don't know how to hold a conversation. They don't know how to be the most interesting man in the room. I mean, we got to be honest. Most of these fellas out here they didn't get their money right until they were in their 40s. And when I say right, I just mean that he's not struggling and in debt. I don't mean that he is in a financially advantageous position. That's not what I mean. Most of these fellas, they don't have a personality. They didn't get their money right until they got into their 40s. And they're in their 40s or their 50s just now realizing, damn, I don't have a personality. Now he just doubles down on the money to compensate for the personality he doesn't have. We got to be brutally honest. Most males don't have it figured out. That's why most males, particularly in their 40s, are sitting up here wifing up the bottom of the damn barrel. Let's just be clear. This is how you end up on Good Morning America. Cheating on your wife with a damn 400-pound TikToker. Just understand, most of these dudes out here, they ain't got it figured out, man. I'm not talking about in their teens or their 20s. They're in their 40s and 50s and they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what in the hell they're doing. They have zero ability to just sit down and strike up a conversation. To be able to do that at all, they have no skill set to accomplish that, period. None. Don't know what to do and don't know how to make it happen. I'm just saying. And at a certain point, people, at what point do we write them off? At what point? Because everybody you don't write off, that's where you're putting your energy. That's where you're putting your effort. So if we're going to devote energy and effort, if we're going to do that, then that needs to be among those who the effort's going to have the biggest rate of return. The younger they are, the higher your rate of return. The older you get, the more resistant you are to it. Because truth be told, when somebody's in their damn 40s, they already know everything I'm talking about here on the business. Everything I'm saying here on the business is not a revelation. It's just that they're like, damn, so I really got to do it. Yeah, you really have to do it. And then they leave and they never do it. Goldie, if you're not a member of Patreon, you need to be. If you're not a member of Patreon, you need to be. The link is in the description. So, folks, you know what to do. You know where it is. You know where it ain't. Get in where you fit in. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. Before I do, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. I know it's Black Friday and you all took some time off from giving chicks your money on OnlyFans, so we appreciate that there as well there. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button, click that yellow notification bell, join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We do it every Saturday, 12 noon Central Time. You definitely want to be a part of that as well. Some details coming up here, so be watching for that also. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program, live or recorded. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will